You gotta walk it like you talk it, which means in order to become the person you want to be, number one, you're going to have to decide why you want to become that person. Not do you want to be the person everybody else wants you to be. Hard pass. We're not doing that. So before you even start walking it like you talk it, we got to go way back in time. And that's, who do you want to be? Not who do you think you should be? Not who do you think you should be to make everybody happy? No. I do not care about any of that, nor do I care about them. They are irrelevant in this topic. They are completely irrelevant. Who do you want to be, right? Let's say, and I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you want to be a 5 a.m. girl or a 7 o'clock girl, whatever the case may be. You want to be this person. Well, you don't say, I just want to be that person. Well, so what? I'd like to do a lot of things, but if I don't put effort towards it, it's not going to happen. And if you're waiting to feel ready or motivated or all of the stuff like that, then you're going to keep waiting for that, right? You're just going to keep waiting and it's never going to happen. Then you're going to sit there and judge yourself and be like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be a 6 a.m. girl? Like, well, you're not doing the actions. Behavioral activation, baby. You got to do the action before you feel like it and before you're even worried about thinking about it, right? Yeah, you're dealing with a lot of other stuff. That's why you have the 5 journals. That's why you're still dealing with things, right? So let's say you say, I want to be a 6 a.m. girl. Well, is it because you read a book that says 6 a.m. is more productive? If that may not be you. You may be a 9 o'clock is my most productive time. It doesn't matter, right? So you got to get clear as to first and foremost your why. It's always going to come down to your why. Why do you want blank? Whatever the case may be. Why do you want it? Who do you want to be? Right? And if you're like, well, I want to be, and again, not anything with perfection. Do not start that. I want to be the person who's this way. I want to be the person who's this way. You don't want to be a drone. So once you get clear as to what that is, now you got to do the research to figure out what that looks like. So let's say you normally get up at 10 o'clock, right? Let's say, or whatever, 9 o'clock, and you decide for whatever reason you want to be a 6 a.m. person. Okay. Well, you're not just going to just jump right out the box and be like, okay, I'm going to do it at 6 a.m. And you do it for 2 days and you go, oh my God, that's terrible. That's awful. I don't want to do it anymore. Well, it doesn't matter what you want to do. You do it anyway, right? Maybe you think it's awful because you're still staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning and then you're mad or at yourself or you're a little sad or a little depressed or all those things because you're not sleeping. And then you're like, but I'm getting up at 6 because that's who I want to be. Well, you're going to have to make some changes. You can't stay up till 2 o'clock then. Depends on how much sleep you need. Everybody doesn't need the 8-hour sleep, right? And so you have to decide what that looks like. So you have to know why your goals are the way they are. And then you start executing it. Right? You got to start executing those actions before you choose to do them. And you don't have to execute all of them. You have to be like, well, I guess I'm going to go to bed at 11 o'clock now. And I'm going to make sure I'm doing this and this and this and this and this. Let's not make this a job. This is a transition. And what you're saying is you want to go from this person that you've been for X amount of years to this person. And you want it to happen right now. It's not going to happen. Right? You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have setbacks or comebacks, baby. You have to have setbacks in order to have comebacks, and you got to have comebacks in order to win. Right? And so when you're in that space on who it is that you want to be, and you start taking the actions to be that person, now you're going to start to develop neuro pathways that are going to change. Like literally, you're going to start to unwire the way that you are, and you're going to start rewiring yourself. Yes. You have that capability. Yes, you have that power to do that. The problem is you decide, I'm going to be a gym girl, a 6 a.m. girl, a eating healthy person. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. That's who I want to be. Well, you're not going to do it all. Just pump your brakes. That's why micro goals. Go to episode 37 of my podcast, micro goals. And you got to do micro goals, and you're going to have to pump your brakes with this whole, I need this right away, because that's hurting you. That will always hurt you. You will go all the way in. You will spend all the money. You will do all of the things. You will get all of the things. And then you'll be like, oh my God, this is overwhelming, and you won't do it. It's not going to happen. So that's why you got to understand what the research is to get you to be the person you want to be, and understand that's a lifelong journey. That's right. You heard me. Lifelong journey. And the reason that that's a lifelong journey is because you will change, right? What you want at 30, you typically don't want at 50. What you want at 70, you might not want from 50. You know what I mean? Like things are going to change. So that's why you always have to analyze what it is and who it is you want to be. And so you're building on that, right? So maybe you want to be here, but before we get here, you got to go here. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just go from here to here and go, well, that's not working. Well, no, it's not going to work. Yeah, that's right. It isn't. And it never will. It never will. And I don't even use those big never and always words, but it never will. And so that's why you want to get yourself in that space now, because when you start to understand that this is for you, then you have to start showing up for those things. You don't get to be I want to be this person and then do it on the days you feel like doing it. Now we're getting back into I feel like it. I don't feel like it. You do it anyway. It is the thing that pulled me out of my deepest, darkest depressions. You heard that plural because I've been there more than once. Dark. And if I waited to feel like it, if I waited to be motivated, and no, I didn't get up and run a marathon, but I'd get up and it's okay. Well, I want to get out of this depression. I'd do my therapy. I'd do my journaling. I would do my medicine. I did all of those things. That was great. Those are just tools, but I had to still execute the work. So I was going to go for a walk. Maybe I'm not going to run a marathon, even though I feel like going for a walk and I'm depressed as hell. I'm going to cry the entire time I'm on the walk. I don't care who sees me. I'm going to cry. I'm going to stop. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to hit the ground with my hands. I'm going to do that stuff, but I'm going to go for the walk because I need to get out of this. And so you have to build upon that, because when you build upon that, that's also how you start having like emotional regulation. You start being able to regulate yourself. Now, of course, like I said, with my depression and stuff, there's medication, there's stuff like that. And so, but there's all the tools. There isn't a tool, right? There isn't a number one miracle anything, but it's always going to come back to you. It's always going to come back to you and the execution of the person you want to be. So going back to the beginning of the video, like I was saying, first, you have to figure out who that is. Why do you, and do not say words. Do not do this. Do not do this. I just want to be happy. No, we're not doing that. Right? You can say, okay, I want to become more patient. Let's say you want to say, I want to become more patient. Okay. Well, what is that going to look like for you? You can't just go, I want to become more patient, so I'm going to just practice becoming more patient. No, you don't even know what you're doing. Or you'd be more patient right now. If it was that easy, everybody be doing it. Okay. So you have to say, okay, what does this look like? What are my issues? Why am I having a hard time with patience? Well, let's go to the root of it. You're still trying to deal with the symptom of the patience, right? The patience is a symptom. The lack of patience is a symptom of the deeper root. That's why you have to go to the deeper root. You're too concerned about dealing with what the topical is. You can't worry about what the topical is. It's a beaker. It's like a light that says, hey, you haven't dealt with this yet. Great. So you go back and that's what you have to deal with. So in order to become a more patient person, you're going to have patience in becoming a more patient person, because you're going to have to go back and get uncomfortable and heal some stuff. And then you're going to be patient one day and then you're not going to be patient. You're going to have a great week and then you're going to have a crappy week. And that's how life goes. So you're going to have to temper your expectations, because yeah, we know in having expectations of other people is miserable, and it's great to have certain goals for yourself. Let's not call them expectations. Well, I expect myself to do this. I expect myself to do this. Okay, it doesn't matter. Expectations are still going to be disappointing, right? Because including from yourself, because the moment you drop the ball, oh my gosh, is the moment you spiral. So you're going to have to be really careful with these expectations and becoming the person you want to be. The biggest thing with becoming the person you want to be is to unbecome, we'll go with that, unbecome the person you've been because of other people. So to become the person you want to be means you're going to have to deconstruct some of these belief systems you have. Some of this, well, family is everything. Family is everything, but that does not mean that the people who you're related to are your family. That's the caveat. You can have family that you're not blood related to, and it's amazing, and they're great. Or you can have family members and you think, oh my gosh, why did I end up with these guys? And so this is the important part for you. And this is why you have to stop and do the work. The 5 journals are going to help you. You know, I have the videos here on the 5 journal series. It is imperative that you do this work if you want to become the person you want to be. And then you have to walk the walk. You could have desires and goals, but without those, they're just dreams. And they're always going to be dreams. They're never going to be executed. So that is your homework. Once again, who do you want to become? And what steps are you going to take right now to start becoming that person?